breeders Colman O'Flynn Sr. and Colman O'Flynn Jr. At Ballyhampshire stud, Colman Jr.'s brother-in-law Edmund Kent, and the gelding's first trainer, former Gold Cup winning rider Adrian Maguire. Colman Jr. took me to the box where Denman was born.
In April, in the year 2000, Polly Puttons, I remember my father and we came out, and we just took back the afterbirth, and I just put my hands on his legs, and I remember saying to my father, "Dad, I don't think we're going to get this fella out, we better ring Edmund." So we had to wait, we had such time to wait because she wasn't going to push him out anyway, so the three of us, we got him out eventually, and God, what a foal, you know, presence, strength, bone, unbelievable. You know, he was just, from day one, he was a cracker of a foal, you know.
Your dad, who also is Colman O'Flynn, he didn't scream out, "Oh my God, it's a tank," did he, by any chance?
No. He always just gets a drop of holy water and put him on and say, "Thank God he's alive."
Well, he certainly was. I mean, just tell us about the dam, of course, Polly Puttons.
Yeah, Polly Puttons, yeah. My father bought Polly Puttons. We bought her off Liam Cashman. Oh God, I can't actually remember what year. But he met Liam and he just said, "Would you keep an eye out for a mare for us or something for the young fella there?" he said. So my brother-in-law Edmund was working at Rathbarry at the time. He was managing the farm for Liam, and there was two mares they were going to the sales. So my father asked Edmund to have a look at the mares. So Edmund said there was a lovely big chestnut mare, he said, and he said there was a grand little bay mare, he said. So by the time we got to actually see any of the mares, the chestnut mare was gone, bought. So all that was left then was the small bay mare, which was Polly Puttons as such. So my father bought her then as well.
And of course, her night out to produce Denman was with presenting. Actually, just before we chat about presenting and why you chose him, let's just have a look at him winning at Doncaster one day. This was his maiden victory.
And now presenting, reaching top gear in the centre, trying to challenge Bari, racing down to the final furlong. Now Willie has to get to work on the jolly old favourite. Is not so jolly now because presenting's coming there strongly and takes over. On the far side, Daunt and then Witch Hunt, but presenting the leader. Daunt far side, Bari trying to rally stand side, presenting idling close home but held on to beat the favourite Bari.
Why did you choose him?
Well, we had been very lucky with Rathbarry as such. We took Strongale, we took Polly to Strongale 3 times, and then we went to Fardante, and everything that was after coming from Rathbarry was after winning. So my father always said, "Look, we'll stick with Liam because we've been lucky with him." And but he was the most gorgeous horse presenting when he came. I remember saying to some fella, "I hope this fella will be the next Strongale," you know. And little did he think that he'd turn out every bit as good, if not better, you know. So that's why we use presenting.
And this area around Fermoy, it has Gold Cup history. Dawn Run, didn't
yes.
she come from?
Yes, Dawn Run is only a mile as the crow flies over the road, and Rathbarry is another mile. So it's steeped in Gold Cup history as such. Fermoy has a good history, and Castlines, the whole lot.
And coming back to Denman's early days, he obviously was quite a thing when he came out. As he developed from ages 2 to 3 to 4, what did you make of him then?
Yeah, he was actually fed down. We reared him down in the stable there after he was weaned, and I remember as I was feeding him, Edmund just come the odd time and have a look at him, and we'd say, "Look, cut back the feeding," because this fella was growing and growing and growing. We were hoping we were worried in case anything had happened, he'd go wrong on his joints or something. So, and then he just settled down then as he went out to spring grass, and he just grew and just was just a huge tank of a horse from then on, you know. He as a 3-year-old, he was 16-2, you know. He was just a fine big horse. I remember himself in Silverburn. I feed the two of them in a field, and they'd run down together, and I'd have to wave them down in case they wouldn't stop, you know, because they were just so powerful, the two of them.
Was it basically his stature to start with that perhaps suggested he might be a good horse?
We were hoping he would, you know. He looked the real deal as such. And my brother-in-law, we had him, and we took him down to Edmund to my brother-in-law, and he broke him. And he just said he was a pleasure to break. He just did everything right, never caused a day's trouble. And he said he was just so laid back. He was a little bit worried. He thought maybe is this horse any good at all, you know, that he was so laid back. And So then I think Edmund had met Adrian, I think, at some sales or something. And he said, Adrian Maguire, sorry, yes. And he said, we have a horse there, you might be interested in training. So myself and my father, we were at the Point to Points, and we saw Adrian, so we introduced ourselves to him. And my father just said that time, he said he was lucky on their back, so he said maybe you might be lucky to train one of them. So hence we sent him Denman as such then.
And he ran in your colours in the Point to Point that he won at, was it Liscarroll?
He did, yes, in Liscarroll, ran in my father's colours that time, and Adrian just said, nothing will beat this horse today, you know. He said, I remember him saying it to me before we went, he said, in fact, he said, I think this horse could win a Gold Cup, he said.
Down to the final fence, it's Denman by 2 or 3 lengths from Just Naturally and Slow Turn as they come to the last. Denman a great jump in the last, that probably put a seal on things, and Denman showing a good turn of foot now, and is beginning to pull right away. Denman putting up a fine performance here in his debut for Coleman Sweeney. He's had a great week and he's going to continue his winning ways. Denman for the Adrian Maguire yard.
I really did fancy him going there. He was doing everything extremely well, and in the couple of weeks leading up to it even, I kept saying to Colman O'Flynn that, you know, he's such a big horse. You know, as we get closer to a run, when we be just turning the screw, he just might need to be let off because he was so big. But he took everything, he ate everything, and we found ourselves in Liscarroll. I met Terry Biddlecombe and Henrietta Knight there at the races, and I made it my business to tell them to keep an eye on my horse, my 5-year-old. It was his first run. I taught an awful lot of him, and so they looked at him. They were very impressed with him. He won very well, and actually I can remember the day well because Coleman Sweeney rode him very well. We jumped off towards the back because we knew he was going to be keen, and after jumping 2 or 3 fences, he was about 3rd or 4th and never settled. Pulled very hard throughout the race.
He was a tank already.
Yeah, and you know, he was just, even when he was short at a fence, he was gaining a half a length or a length. Just always getting there too soon, and very keen. And I stood beside Michael Winters, my brother-in-law, and watched the race, and he kept saying to me, oh, he wins a minute, but I was very concerned on how hard he pulled. And just before they came off the hill into the straight, Coleman went to give him a shove, and for about 2 or 3 strides it looked as if not much was going to happen. And I turned my back and I said to Michael as I walked away, I says, no, he don't get home, he was too free. But all the way up the straight it was further and further away he was going, and the jump he thrown at the last and galloped all the way to the line, you know, was I thought it was an exceptional performance. And in my own mind I was thinking to myself, you know, with him being as free as he was and taking ground off him that he gained, and galloped as strong as he did to the line, and knowing what we knew about him before we went, I thought this, if ever a horse had a bit of luck, he could make into a Gold Cup horse.
And obviously he was sold after he won his Point to Point. Why? There'll be people saying you must regret now. You could have a Gold Cup winner on your hands. Do you regret selling him, or is it a business that's what you do?
It's a business. My father was retiring from the whole business of what he had, a haulage company and everything. He had a lot of money invested in horses down through the years, so it was time to get back, and everything was being handed over to me then as such. So it was a hard amount of money to refuse at the time. He still was a big horse, you know.
Tell us what you sold him for.
He made 100,000 euros. That's what he made at the time.
Right.
And but he was still a big raw horse, you know. He could have went both ways. Like if you look back at the percentage of horses that are so big that make it, it's very small, you know. You could have been proved wrong on a split second in a race, you know, if he just didn't make it. So it was a hard thing to refuse at the time.
At the top of the hill, the cool guy on the right, Denman on the left. These two hugely promising novices. They've disputed the running throughout so far. They're 4 or 5 lengths clear of Boychuk, then double dizzy in the light blue jacket. On the extreme left in the orange cap, Ask the Gatherer trying to run on, then Ungaro and It's a Dream. This is the second last, and Denman took over there. The cool guy just got in a bit close to the flight as they race for the final turn. And it's Denman and Ruby Walsh from the cool guy and Carl Llewellyn on the inside. They remain clear of Boychuk, and then Ungaro as now they run round the final left-hander, and it's Denman who's piling it on. He's 2 or 3 lengths clear of the cool guy, but there's a very long run to the final flight. Denman drawing clear of the cool guy, then Boychuk and Ungaro, a long gap to Ask the Gatherer, double dizzy and It's a Dream. The leader's just wandering around a little in front here, showing signs of greenness. Denman, who's getting organised now. Ruby Walsh doing the organising as they race towards the final flight, and Denman has powered 10 or 12 lengths clear at the last. Oh, a brilliant jump at the last. Big jump there, and this huge horse, Denman, strides well clear up the hill. This could be a future star here at Cheltenham, and Denman, a bloodless win in the Challow. They're well clear of, in second place, the cool guy, then Boychuk third, and Ungaro fourth. Headway as Zayad right there, dark blue, the horse in the noseband, plenty of chances. Nicanor is getting a bit closer as well. They jump the flight going up the hill. Good fluid lead by the leader there, Mr. Nosy. Followed closely in second place now, Mr. Pointman getting much closer. Zayad up the inside. Denman is out towards the left, still in third or fourth place, followed by Nicanor with a steady run. And then the Mick Western round horses, followed by Letterman, who's under pressure as they reach the top of the hill. Starting down the hill now with 3 flights left to jump. And it's Mr. Nosy that has the advantage from Mr. Pointman and Denman as they continue on towards this third last. Mr. Nosy with Denman and Mr. Pointman racing between the pairs. Zayad is wider at Denman, hit that pretty hard as they go down now towards the second last. Nicanor is stalking the leaders as they head down the hill, and it's getting pretty competitive up ahead with Mr. Nosy on the outside. Denman now looming large, very large. Nicanor switched to the outside, then Mr. Pointman over 2 out. Mr. Nosy and Denman took it as 1. Nicanor back in third is swinging away, followed by Mr. Pointman. The mare, the little mare Refinement, running on into 5th place, followed by Zayad. They round the final turn. Denman is now driven to the lead, but Nicanor is yet to come off the bridle and is challenging in the noseband, followed by Mr. Nosy at the last. Denman a good jump, but so too Nicanor. Nicanor ranges up on the near side of Denman. They fight it out up the hill, and Nicanor takes the advantage over Denman. Denman can't fight back. Nicanor's got too much speed, and Nicanor stretches away in the hands of Paul Carberry. Beautifully judged ride. Nicanor wins. Denman second. Refinement stays on for third. Then Mr. Nosy and Mr. Pointman. Rimsky followed by Glasgow Mill, and then Letterman and Zayad faded away. Legally Fast held Tornick, the Mick Western, then Shizad. Ungaro, then Open-Eyed. Behind those is Royal Rosa, Mossbank and Chelsea Harbour as they go to the next. Denman almost joined here by Aces 4 up the inside. Eurochancer blundered in third place as they once again turn into the back straight. So Denman being given a little piece now, and Aces 4 goes on just ahead of the favourite. Aces 4 and Graham Lee as they run downhill to the next. These two are clear of Turco moving into third, and then the pink jacketed according to John, and landing over this one, the two leaders about 4 lengths clear of the chasing pack. On now to the water jump once again. Aces 4 by a half length to Denman going into the water here. According to John, close up in third, just Purrit getting a bit closer as well. Just behind these, Patsy Hall on the near side moves into a share of fourth place. Then Turco, Snowy Morning up the inner as they jump this open ditch. Turco was a bit slow there and is driven on landing. Gazza's Girl towards the outside of runners in a noseband, and now to another plain fence. On the near side, Aces 4 just ahead of Denman in second second place. They stream over, one gone towards the rear. There was Chelsea Harbour. Chelsea Harbour got rid of David Casey. Meanwhile, back with the two leaders, Aces 4 and Denman, as they go towards this open ditch. This is 4 out they're coming to, and Aces 4 jumps it boldly from the favourite. They're clear of Just Pour It in the blue jacket, according to John. Turco is very hard driven from Snowy Morning as they now round the top turn. Denman going well on the near side, but so too is Aces 4, and they race as one now, starting down the hill towards 3 out in this Royal and SunAlliance Chase. They're a long way clear of Just Pour It. Snowy Morning running on in the yellow jacket from, according to John, and Turco out wide, and then Gazza's Girl. But here, Graham Lee on the right, Ruby Walsh on the left. So much riding on Ruby here. Here's the third last. Denman jumps it super, and Aces 4 stumbles badly on landing and hands the initiative to Denman now, who is going very strongly anyway. This is the tricky fence. Can he get over it? Denman comes to the second last. He brushes through the top. Aces 4 over in second place, and they're clear of Snowy Morning, followed by, according to John, Just Pour It, then Gazza's Girl and Turco. But Denman turns for home with a tremendous lead. It's Denman by a good 10 lengths to Aces 4, but Snowy Morning is putting in a very good run in the yellow jacket as they head towards the final fence. Denman by about 10 lengths there. Snowy Morning lands second. Aces 4 back in third. The favourites in front. Denman going to be kept up to his work, a long way clear of Snowy Morning, and this was D-Day for Denman, and he's going to pass the test in flying colours of purple and grey, and Denman wins the Royal and SunAlliance Chase in tremendous style. In second place, Snowy Morning, tight for third between, according to John, and Aces 4, who ran a super race. Then Gazza's Girl, Ungaro Turco, back to Just Pour It and Patsy Hall and Royal Rosa. Nowhere Dom Dorgevel never featured. Mossbank next, and then Open Eyed. Well, he passed the test in tremendous style.
Field as they jump the next plane fence, and Denman and Surrender together there. Back in the field is Abriganti. Towards the rear, New Alco with Bowlees and Point Barrow, Madison de Burley, Patsy Hall, and finally Dom Dorgevel. And confirming that the champion jockey did get to his feet after that fall from Snowy Morning. Denman led over the water jump with a circuit left to travel. Denman the outside of Surrembrandt. They're 3 lengths on Dream Alliance and Darge on third and fourth. Nowhere is fifth, followed by Strong Flow. Then Bible Lord and Juveneur. Character Building is next from Always Waning, and New Alco back on the inside. Abriganti continues to be held up in the second half of the field. Patsy Hall towards the inside, and the favourite Snowy Morning is the one, the only horse out of the race. Denman having gone off at 5 to 1, pretty easy to back as they run down the back straight at the next plane fence. So Rembrandt and Denman together there. Dom Dorgevel made a very serious blunder. It's not going to be his day by the look of things. He's in last place again, and it's Rembrandt and Denman at this open ditch. Both jump it beautifully. A mistake by Nowhere in 4th or 5th place there. Darge onto his outside, and now on to the next. And still Sir Rembrandt and Denman with Dream Alliance in third. Strong Flow in the orange jacket, D'Argent. Then Juveneur and Bible Lord Nowhere in the green colours. Character Building the grey, then New Alco. Abriganti still travels kindly in behind these, followed by Bowlees as they now head on towards the next plane fence. This is the 15th of 21, and Denman and Sir Rembrandt. Sir Rembrandt was on the near side of Denman. The others sail over. Dom Dorgevel only just coming to it. Surely he'll be pulled up and heading towards the last in the back straight. Sam Thomas on Denman. Sir Rembrandt and James White on the near side, followed by Dream Alliance, Nowhere. Juveneur made a mistake there. D'Argent making ground on the far side, then with Strong Flow. Bible Lord getting into it. Yellow jacket, Bible Lord's going well. Nowhere on the inside. And this is the leading bunch of 7 horses leaving the back straight, but Denman, despite his big weight, is powering on in the lead here, and he's got 1 or 2 of them in trouble here, and Sam Thomas hasn't moved a muscle yet as they run now towards the cross fence, and it's Denman coming towards the 5th last fence from Dream Alliance in second place. This is 5 out in the Hennessy. Denman came into it, measured it very well. Dream Alliance over in second. Bible Lord is third. Thomas looking round to see where the others are, and a lot of them are really struggling. Can he see it out. He's got the home straight to cover. The crowd are getting very excited here. Those that are back Denman, they're getting very confident indeed. Dream Alliance is under pressure in second place. Bible Lord's back in third. Character Building begins to run on now in fourth place. Abriganti very confidently ridden in fifth, but this is 4 out. Denman comes to it, about 5 lengths clear of Dream Alliance. Character Building stays on into third place now, past the weakening Bible Lord. This is the final open ditch for Denman. He comes in to take it, put himself right. Good jump again from Dream Alliance. Character Building, a stout stair, back in third place. Then back in the field, Strong Flow was the faller. Bible Lord is fourth, Abriganti is fifth. Denman just being held together. Another great jump at the second last from Dream Alliance. Then Character Building, they're clear of Bible Lord and Abriganti and Juvenile and Madison de Burley. Now Sam Thomas gives Denman a wake-up call as he runs towards the final fence. He's got 11 stone 12 on his back in deep. Dream Alliance plowed through it, then Character Building. The rest are scrapping it out for the minor money, but it's Denman. He's 15 lengths clear of Dream Alliance, racing into the closing stages. This could be one of the great performances in the long history of the Hennessy Gold Cup. Denman under 11-12 delivers in tremendous style, followed in second by Dream Alliance. Back in third, Character Building. Madison Burley was fourth. In fifth place, Nowhere. Then Juvenile.
Jacob, State of Play, Paul Maloney, Mossbank, Davy Russell, and a good jump by the listener. Goes up to just take over. Lantarctic, Graham Lee on the inside, and Beaver Salmon, Paul Carberry, although the back markers 6 lengths cover them. And the lead exchanging now as Denman takes over again. Coming up towards the milepole, Denman, the listener, Mossbank on the outside of State of Play, Beaver Salmon and Lantarctic. Racing now across in front of the stands to the final regulation. 6 left to jump, and Denman leads the listener. Mossbank, State of Play, Beaver Salmon, Lantarctic. Right across from the stands, second last ditch. Denman from the listener. Mossbank touches down third, then State of Play, Lantarctic and Beaver Salmon. So they're heading now towards the final 3/4 of a mile. Denman the leader from the listener, State of Play, Lantarctic joining Mossbank, and they've gone a few lengths in front of Beaver Salmon. Now they're going to 4 from the finish. Denman leads the listener by just 1.5 lengths. 3 parts of a length then to State of Play, Mossbank, Lantarctic and Beaver Salmon. Racing now to the final ditch. 5 furlongs to go, 3 left to jump, and Denman leads. The listener tracks him in third, State of Play, Mossbank right there on the outside, and Beaver Salmon and Lantarctic still right in contention as the 6 runners covered by 5 lengths. The final ditch, 3 from home. Denman leads by just over 2 lengths. The listener, Mossbank, State of Play, Lantarctic and Beaver Salmon. Swinging now with 2 left to jump in the Lexus, and it's Denman and Ruby Walsh from the listener and Daryl Jacob. Mossbank and Davy Russell towards the outside. Now they begin to race for the home turn, and it's Denman from the listener moving up on the outside. In third is Mossbank as they round the home turn. Denman, the listener and Mossbank as they straighten up for the final fence. It's Denman, Ruby Walsh from Mossbank on the outside. Davy Russell in the centre is the listener and Daryl Jacob, but Denman leads Mossbank and the listener. In fourth is Beaver Salmon. Final fence in the Lexus Chase, and it's Denman over in front of Mossbank. Then comes the listener, and on the run up towards the finish, it's Denman and Ruby Walsh from Mossbank, the listener and Beaver Salmon staying on again as they race up towards the finish. It's going to be another big one for Ruby Walsh and Paul Nicholls. What a hand he's got in the Gold Cup. Ruby and Denman win the Lexus, and it's going to be a photograph for second, very close. Mossbank and the listener and Beaver Salmon.
Taken third, Ollie McGurn has weakened badly, but Denman is going to win by as many lengths as he likes. So with Sam Thomas on board, he'll head to Cheltenham with a very easy victory in the Aon Chase to his name.
Alistair, you're a great judge at this meeting. What do you think?
Well, I've come round at the left towards Denman. I just hope that it turns into this great head-to-head in the race. Simon, to call the 2008 even Tote Sport Cheltenham Gold Cup, the most anticipated race in 44 years.
So in they come. Starter Sean McDonald calling them in, and there crowd sends them on their way. 22 fences to be crossed, and the grey Neptune Collange, a stable companion of Denman and Kauto Star, is sent on into the lead by Mick Fitzgerald. Denman sitting second at the first and jumped it well. Kauto Star is disputing third with Halcon Genelade. Then A Fistful of Dollars in the pink jacket. Further back, Exotic Dancer from Iron Man, and then Contraband as they jump the second fence. Out towards the rear, Nowhere in a green jacket, Fustrion de Paon, also Celestial Gold, and Azulejo is the back marker. They're in front of the stands and running uphill towards the far side, and it is Neptune Collange that makes the running here. It looks a fairly sensible pace. Denman in second place under Sam Thomas, who's seeking his first win at the Cheltenham Festival. Kauto Star and Ruby Walsh towards the inside, still sharing third position with Halcon Genelade. Then A Fistful of Dollars as now they jump fence number 3. The leaders safely over. Exotic Dancer up the inside of Iron Man, then Nowhere, Fustrion de Paon, Contraband, Celestial Gold, and Azulejo. This is the water jump for the first time. Neptune Collange over in front of Denman. The white-faced Kauto Star on the right. On the outside is Halcon Genelade. Pink colours, A Fistful of Dollars. Kauto Star very well backed. 11 to 10 on favourite as they clear this open ditch. And they all jumped it with aplomb and with great accuracy. Nowhere is further back in the green with the white stars behind A Fistful of Dollars. Iron Man to the outside as they jump the next. Towards the rear still Celestial Gold behind Exotic Dancer in the pink cap. Tony McCoy on the inside. Always rides him off the pace, Exotic Dancer, but he's a very solid stayer as they go towards another open ditch. Neptune Collange from Denman. They're about 6 lengths clear of Kauto Star and Halcon Genelade. A Fistful of Dollars is fifth. Then Exotic Dancer on the inside of Iron Man. Then Nowhere. A gap back to Fustrion de Paon and Celestial Gold as they cleared the next plain fence, and out the back the big outsiders Azulejo and Contraband. So no dramas so far as they reach the highest point on the racecourse, but they've still got well over a circuit left to cover in this Gold Cup, and it's Neptune Collange from Denman, almost joined by Denman there, Neptune Collange. Kauto Star in third place, not letting Denman too far ahead. Halcon Genelade to the outside, then A Fistful of Dollars. Iron Man wide of Exotic Dancer, followed by Nowhere, Fustrion de Paon and Contraband and Azulejo, and they jumped the next. And it was still Neptune Collange that led the way. They're about to return towards their starting point here then, and now on towards fences 11 and 12, and in a circuit's time this is the point where the race will really be on, and it's Neptune Collange who leads the way by about a length and a half to the big horse Denman in second place, the horse they call the Tank. In third on the outside, Halcon Genelade of last year's winner Kauto Star, the leading chaser in the country. Great jump by Denman there. That was a super jump, and he joined Neptune Collange, and Kauto Star wasn't quite so fluent. On towards the next. This will be the last next time round, and Denman is in front. Denman leads the way to Neptune Collange now. Sam Thomas has allowed Denman to stride on, and he's going to try and stretch them out now and test everyone else's stamina as they race towards the far side. Denman by a couple of lengths to Neptune Collange. Kauto Star in third place, Halcon Genelade in fourth, and John Frankham is watching this like us all with eager eyes. What do you think, John?
Well, Simon, I couldn't have told you what was going to win before they started. I know none the wiser now. All I can tell you is on the overall balance, the horse in front at the moment, Denman, has jumped the better of the two.
Yes, Denman at the moment, it's looking quite effortless for him. Neptune Collange, Kauto Star's just brushed through one or two of the fences. Azulejo has been pulled up as they clear the water jump. A Fistful of Dollars in fourth. Halcon Genelade is coming under some pressure. Exotic Dancer, let's not forget him. He's still well within hailing distance as Denman puts in another great leap over the next, that open ditch from Neptune Collange. Kauto Star jumped it well, however, as they head on towards this next plain fence. Denman again met it really well from Neptune Collonges. Kauto Star is about 6 lengths behind Denman now, but he's got plenty of acceleration. Exotic Dancer moving into 4th place. This is the final open ditch they're coming to. It's 6 out, and Denman's over in front from Neptune Collonges. Kauto Star is in 3rd place. Then Exotic Dancer, a fistful of dollars, nowhere's under the whip. So too Halcon Genelade, as now they head towards another plain fence. Denman comes in to take it, absolutely spot on again. Kauto Star landing in 3rd place there, still about 6 or 7 lengths. So Ruby is asking Kauto Star, he's asking him to try and close now. Can he do so? Neptune Collonges remains in 2nd. Exotic Dancer closing a little bit. Here's 4 out. Denman over in front. There's a tricky fence he's got over. Neptune Collonges in 2nd place. Kauto Star looks in trouble, and the whip is raised for the first time on last year's winner, Kauto Star. Exotic Dancer trying to run on in 4th place, but Denman is now pulling clear as they go towards the 3rd last. Shortens up to it, and he's safely over Denman. He's now 7 or 8 lengths clear. A mistake from Exotic Dancer. Kauto Star's in trouble. Neptune Collonges is only just hanging on to 2nd place, but Denman is pulling further and further clear as they turn for home. And this undefeated chaser, Denman, looks like adding one more victory now, with 2 more fences to be jumped in the Gold Cup. Neptune Collonges is fighting it out with Kauto Star, who just can't get to the leader. Here's the 2nd last, Denman. He's over again. He hasn't touched a twig. Kauto Star has got 8 or 10 lengths to make up as they race towards the final fence. Denman and Sam Thomas comes towards it from Kauto Star, who is closing slightly. Denman's over in front. Kauto Star's about 7 lengths down in 2nd place. Denman's getting a little weary on the run-in. Kauto Star trying hard to close, but Denman's been out in front for a long time. He's still 6 or 7 lengths clear, and he's too good for them. Denman is destroying them, and a new star. It's Denman who wins the Gold Cup. Kauto Star holds on for a gallant 2nd from Neptune Collonges, who stayed on in 3rd. In 4th, Halcon Genelade, then Exotic Dancer from nowhere, and a fistful of dollars, and none of the others have finished.
Shot and back in the field, Nico de Beauchesne was the one that came down. Heading downhill then in the Gold Cup. Neptune Collonges, Kauto Star, Denman and Barbershop. Neptune Collonges, Kauto Star coming there very strongly for Ruby Walsh. Sam Thomas shakes up Denman. Is there any of the spark left to try and regain his crown? Exotic Dancer is in 4th place, and the match that was promised 12 months ago is now well and truly on again. Kauto Star leads Denman on the turn, and this time it's Kauto Star with a fizz in his step. Denman in 2nd, ridden along Exotic Dancer, Neptune Collonges, and they're away from Barbershop. 2 from home, Kauto Star is over. 5 lengths the growing gap to Denman in 2nd, Exotic Dancer in 3rd, and Neptune Collonges. The final fence between Kauto Star and history. The scene of many scared, but this time he's faultless, and Kauto Star is over from Denman in 2nd, Exotic Dancer and Neptune Collonges. Then Lyman and Barbershop have ridden out towards the line. What a win for Ruby Walsh. His 7th winner. Kauto Star makes history. The first horse to regain the Transport Cheltenham Gold Cup. Kauto Star, Denman goes down fighting in 2nd. Exotic Dancer 3rd. Neptune Collonges 4th. Tight the 5th. 5-0. Roll along. Well run of Barbershop in 7th.
Denman on the near side, Madison de Burley the far side. They come now to 3 out, neck and neck. And it's Denman on the outside who led over it narrowly. Madison de Burley won't go away. 4 or 5 lengths stand to Exotic Dancer. They come to the last edge now. This is the 2nd last. Madison de Burley finding more. Madison de Burley and Denman is gone. Denman is gone in the 2nd last. Madison de Burley left 6 or 7 lengths in front. Trying hard then is Exotic Dancer in second place. Sam Thomas on the floor. Denman is now galloping away riderless, but with one left to jump, Madison de Burley is 7 lengths, 8 lengths in front of Exotic Dancer. He's absolutely walking Madison de Burley, but he clears the last. In second is Exotic Dancer, running on particularly well. A long gap Alberta's run, but up towards the line now. Madison de Burley, he's going up and down in the one spot, but he's done enough to win. A courageous performance, a big win. Madison de Burley has won it from in second place.
Would. I mean, it's interesting that two horses that started off giving them a lead, they just dropped back slightly. Ruby felt that his cruising speed was just a little bit too good for them, got him up, he's been jumping fluently, travelling well, but there's 3 or 4 there, there's Niche Market's going well, so's What a Friend when you're looking behind.
And Killy Glen also right there in 4th place has gone pretty well all the way as they jump another open ditch. Niche Market from Denman there, from Killy Glen on the inside, Joe Lively, Barber's Shop. My Will is moving ground. Bally Fitz is pulling up, has run no sort of race at all as they jump the next plain one. Niche Market from Denman, Killy Glen 3rd, then Barber's Shop in 4th, breathing down their necks. Gone to Lunch, trying to hang on in there. Jove Lively coming under a bit of pressure as they race towards the next. War of Attrition is out wide of Cornati Kid. Very wide is My Will, clearing that one, and Accordion. Nenefar Collage is flat to the boards. Denman on the left, just in behind Barber's Shop, stalking him as they run towards the next plain fence. Niche Market alongside Denman there. Killy Glen climbed that slightly. Barber's Shop travels well still from Joe Lively, the yellow jacket, then Cornati Kid as they now race towards the exit of the back straight. About 3/4 of a mile left to cover from here, and Denman takes it up from Niche Market. Barber's Shop is 3rd. What a Friend now goes well. Look at that, the white jacket, Sam Thomas, the stable companion of the leader in the sheepskin noseband. What a Friend just hunting up the leaders as they swing left-handed towards the cross fence. Denman, Barber's Shop, Niche Market, then Joe Lively. What a Friend looking dangerous. Gone to Lunch is a bit off these. Great jump from Denman at the cross fence. Joe Lively met it wrong. That was a superb jump from Denman. Took another length out of them. Barber's Shop in 2nd. Niche Market is 3rd. The crowd are beginning to roar him on as they run left-handed and enter the home straight. It's the top weight Denman that leads from Barber's Shop. Niche Market, but in behind, What a Friend has travelled well all the way and looks sure to play a part. They race down towards the 4th blast. Denman is challenged by Barber's Shop on the far side, but another great jump from the leader. He's gone 3 lengths clear, and suddenly they're at it in behind. He's racing now towards the final open ditch. Denman by 3 lengths. His stable companion now in hot pursuit. What a Friend. Barber's Shop in 3rd. Niche Market in 4th. Then Gone to Lunch and Snowy Morning. 2 fences to jump. Denman is taken on by What a Friend. There's a huge weight difference. Denman by about a length. What a Friend challenging in 2nd place. Ruby Walsh and Sam Thomas. A score to be settled. Then Barber's Shop and Niche Market racing towards the final fence. What a Friend is hanging. He looks awkward. Denman still fighting. Over the last, good jump again from Denman, and he lands in front on the run for home. Denman pulling out more from What a Friend. He's under 11 stone 12. One of the great performances in jump race history. Denman by 3 lengths to What a Friend. Denman is keeping on. Another demolition job from Denman, and he wins his 2nd Hennessy. A heroic victory from What a Friend in 2nd. Tight 3rd, Niche Market and Barber's Shop. Then Gone to Lunch in 5th. Cornati Kid 6th, followed home by My Will, Drips and Drabs, Snowy Morning, Nenefar Collage, Joe Lively, War of Attrition, and Chelsea Harbour. Oh.
What was the biggest ever bet you had on Denman, and at what price? And how big a thrill was it to win a huge bet on a horse which you owned?
Yeah, good question, because I mentioned in the book when we lumped on him at Bangor at massive odds on, but which is a funny story, but when Denman got beat by Nicanor in the SunAlliance Hurdle, I was on the way out of the racecourse, and Barber put his arm around my shoulder and said, "Don't worry." He said, "The way he come and jumped that last after he was beaten," he said, he's a monster. He said he will come back next year and win the Royal SunAlliance Chase. And with Denman's style of running and what we knew of him, even then, that was always going to be the target. And therefore, we lumped on. The first show was 10-1. We took all the 10s and 8s before he ran, and then he beat Pembroke in the novice chase. When during that race, that's when we named him the Tank, when he ploughed through the fourth last. After that, we stuck him again at 6 and 5, and I told everyone to lump on. But come the race, it was a lot more pressure than I thought, because 3 weeks before the race, I was doing all the interviews for the press, and it was like a monsoon. It was, you even questioned whether Cheltenham was on. So soft or heavy ground was looking at certainty, and I thought Denman had already won. It looked like being 4 or 5 runners, and it was a shoo-in. And I told everyone it was a mortgage job. And of course, all of a sudden, the weather changed. It was like the hottest 8 days in history, and we got there, and it was good ground, genuinely good. Even faster than that ground. And suddenly we're taking on speedier horses, and I was quoted everywhere as saying he was the biggest certainty of all time. And I think he went out to 11:08 on the day, but he had that mid-race duel with Aces 4, that flying 30-mile Murphy horse, and they were going so fast in the middle of that race. I thought that was really nervous watching that. And when he won that day, it was so exciting. The pressure of putting so many people on at him, and everyone knew what we were. I was a bit thinking that it was going to be heavy ground. I was more than confident in the press, and I certainly felt the pressure on the day, and it was a real good buzz when he won.